Welcome back, everyone. We have some breaking news. It seems that there has been an explosion near the Polish border in the town of Przewodów. I can't pronounce Polish at all to save my life. To give you an idea of the map, it's Przewodów. Again, sorry, Pol Bros for the pronunciation. It is approximately 50 kilometers north of Lvov, just on the western side of the Ukrainian border. Now, Polish news has been saying that explosion in wires, this is through Google Translate, so possibly they are doing a better job of the pronunciation. They're saying that there has been an explosion in the village of Przewodów in the district of Hrubry-Sowów. 2 people have died on the spot, as well as representatives of local authorities and the army. I don't know whether this is the translation. What I've heard so far is that there were 2 civilians killed. There have not been any army casualties. It's not known yet what caused the explosion. Apparently, so Przewodów is 5 kilometers from the border with Ukraine. The incident took place about 4 p.m. on Tuesday. I don't know. The tweets seem to start coming out about 6 p.m., about 2 hours ago from when I'm recording this. The explosion took place near a grain dryer, most likely when a tractor was driving onto the scales. So, I mean, I don't know why the Russians would hit a tractor. Destroyed elements of local infrastructure, a farm tractor, and there is unofficial information about a crater at the ground site of the explosion. And indeed, this is the picture supposedly at the site. At least this is what is going around on Twitter at the moment. Now, Associated Press has been quite quick to come out with this, saying that according to an anonymous US spokesman, this was due to a massive Russian missile barrage on Ukraine, and these missiles basically strayed into Polish territory. Zelensky has said that Russia has fired at least 85 missiles, most of them aimed at the country's power facilities, and blacked out many cities. Well, this has happened over the last few weeks. This is not sort of a recent thing. So I wonder, what's really going on here. The messaging seems to be that the Ukrainians are trying to say that there has been a massive Russian missile bombardment today, and that some of these missiles have come down. However, if we check Ukrainian war map, this is liveuamap.com, which is usually a very, very good resource. It collates all of the military activity. We do not see a whole bunch of missile strikes. We see the strike in Lvov here. We see a explosion in Kiev, and another explosion in Odessa, and one in Mariupol, and the blowing up of an oil pipeline that links Ukraine and Belarus. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. The real question, of course, on everyone's minds is whether this will actually be something that can trigger NATO Article 5. The Russians, up till this point, have been scrupulously careful not to attack the territory of any NATO countries, obviously because triggering Article 5 is very much not in the Russians' interest. The last thing they want is the entirety of Europe piling into the Ukraine war directly, as opposed to just in a proxy sense, providing arms, intelligence, and support. There is allegedly going to be a meeting of the Polish Security Council. It should be coming up soon. We don't know exactly what's happening with that. Presumably, they will talk about it soon, and the real question will be, will there be a triggering of Article 5? Obviously, there are some people who would like this very much, other people who would not like it so much. I don't know enough about Article 5 to know whether an attack has to be considered deliberately. I do know that the country itself has to claim that they were attacked in order to trigger Article 5. So it will be up to the Poles themselves to say whether they wish to trigger Article 5 and bring the rest of NATO in. Even if this is actually, as the Americans say, a stray missile falling on a grain silo near the border, it might not be, from Poland's point of view, enough of an incursion in order to warrant setting off a full-scale war all over Europe. It might just be, an accident, in which case perhaps they could call up the Russians, who would be like, oh, we're very, very sorry, the missile went a bit Amstrad, Russian made missile, sorry about grain silo, here's some grain, or, something like that. This kind of stuff actually happens in diplomacy all the goddamn time. Accidents happen, people get killed, and they figure out ways of working it out. The big question, of course, is with NATO chomping so much to get into the war, will they be into it? Ukraine seems to have been basically fought to a standstill at this point. Although they have taken back Kherson, it is somewhat of a Pyrrhic victory, since the entire city looks like it is going to be evacuated due to there being no more power. Winter is coming, and you cannot live in a cold city. There have been rumors swirling around that if the last of the power goes out in Kiev, Kiev might also have to be evacuated. If this is the case, and if, as rumors are saying, that the Ukrainian army is running out of troops and that the Russians have basically done a draft for an extra 300,000 troops, then the only chance for the survival of Zelensky's government may indeed be to get NATO into the war, in which case it is not beyond the realm of possibility to ask whether there is ulterior motives behind this strike, if indeed it is actually a Russian missile strike at all. I will keep you informed on this. When I get the news, you will get the news. Thanks very much. Good night. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you soon.